Now to our top story this morning. Breaking news out of Washington, D.C. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for COVID-19. The president made the announcement on Twitter around midnight, just hours after one of his top aides tested positive. Natalie Brand kicks off our team coverage from the Capitol.
In a tweet just before 1 a.m. Eastern Time, President Trump announced both he and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for COVID-19. The president wrote, "We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together."
So I just went for a test and we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows?
This stunning development came hours after President Trump confirmed to Fox News that one of his closest aides, Hope Hicks, had tested positive for the coronavirus.
She tested positive. Then I just went out with a test. I'll see what, because we spent a lot of time, and the First Lady just went out with a test also. So whether we quarantine or whether we have it, I don't know.
White House physician Sean Conley released a statement saying the president and First Lady were both doing well, adding, quote, "Rest assured, I expect the president to continue carrying out his duties without disruption while recovering."
The White House has canceled all of the president's public events for today. He has kept on his schedule a phone call on COVID-19 support for vulnerable seniors.
Hicks had traveled to several events with President Trump this week, including the debate on Tuesday and to his rally in Minnesota on Wednesday. President Trump attended a fundraiser in New Jersey on Thursday, reportedly spending time in close contact with a number of his supporters.
The White House says contact tracing has been done, but it's unclear at this point how many White House officials or staffers could have to take new precautions in light of this. A senior aide says the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, has tested negative. On Capitol Hill, I'm Natalie Brand. Back to you.
All right, Natalie, thank you. Well, reaction to the news has been pouring in throughout the early morning hours, including from some big names right here in Texas. Janelle Fort continues our coverage with that part of the story.
Xavier, there is no shortage of people weighing in on the president and First Lady's diagnosis. In fact, a quick scroll through social media shows everything from people dragging the commander-in-chief for getting COVID-19 after mocking former Vice President Joe Biden for wearing a mask at Tuesday's debate, to a handful of lawmakers across the partisan spectrum sending their thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery. The big Texas name chiming in, Governor Greg Abbott, he put out this tweet overnight saying in part, "May God's healing powers touch them, strengthen them, and raise them up." I came across tweets from a handful of other big names in politics: Vice President Mike Pence, Arizona Governor Martha McSally, Florida Representative Ross Spano, all sending a similar message. And then across the aisle, Texas Representative Joaquin Castro took a more pointed approach, saying it's not just a matter of the president's personal health. It's a matter of national security. This virus has claimed over 200,000 American lives in 6 months. In the meantime, all eyes are on the president and the First Lady as they embark on the road to recovery. Back to you.